Hello, so today I wanted to talk about, actually I say today, well today is today, very early in the morning, very early in the morning. I just wanted to talk about the new Doctor Who episodes, because I loaded up YouTube and first thing I saw was a thumbnail, and it was like, a new level of hate. And I haven't watched the video because I don't see the point, they might be chatting for or against the whole, I don't know, bloody cesspit of, I don't know, you're right, I'm wrong kind of shit. Fuck that. And I'm like, I just don't see the point in delving into that side of things. I just wanted to talk about it as just Doctor Who, you know what I mean? Just Doctor Who. So you're here and you're probably thinking along the same lines, hopefully, And it was very interesting, That's the first thing I can say, very interesting. It's like first episode, space babies, very literal. What's it about? Babies in space, space babies. And they have a nanny, and they have a boogeyman, which is kind of it's a bit of an American idea, I'm pretty sure, but it does have roots in every culture, the boogeyman, though the name boogeyman is particularly of American roots, I'm pretty sure. Might be wrong, but as far as my knowledge goes. But, aside from that little kind of synonym of what is just the creature that hides under your bed. It's always there, and does it ever go? Maybe not, but it's this self-sustaining system, it seems. The episode shows how the bogeyman is made out of bogies that the babies sneeze or blow their nose into. Trying to grasp what the episode really, was trying to do, I suppose, was kind of difficult. Taking it at face value, it's like, you can just follow it along kind of brain dead and just be like, oh yeah, that's just how it is. But why it is, I couldn't really understand that bit, personally. It was very rushed. It felt very, very fast paced, kind of made me think of like episodes like 42, and a lot of 42 in particular, I guess. I remember that one is very like the beginning. It always throws me off of how rapid and hasty the Doctor is. Like he's just like, oh let's do this, oh let's do that, and blah, 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 and he's all over the place. And I still like the story a lot, but it slows down quite early, I'd say. It slows down quite a bit for the characters to be able to breathe, but it still does have this pacing where it's like, and I guess that's good, because it makes you think, oh, the characters really don't have a chance here. They really have to just be getting on with it, which is, I guess that is kind of good. I guess I was thinking it did make it a bit difficult to kind of learn about the characters, but then I thought about it and I thought, no, I think he has done some good little bits. Russell has done some good little bits to kind of, within the fast pace of that episode, there's funny little quirky bits by each character that makes you go, you know what, actually I like that. I like that quite a bit. There's a really bit that stood out to me where the Doctor's pressing the button to switch the screen to the boogeyman on the camera, and all the babies are freaking out and crying, and Ruby Sunday is, she's comforting the baby, but the Doctor's just there, and every time he switches the screen, he just starts laughing. He just thinks it's hilarious, despite the fact there are babies who are clearly terrified by the presence of this creature. And I was just looking at it, I was just like, oh, that bit stood out to me. I thought it was quite fun. He's a bit unaware sometimes of what impact it was having on the things around him. He was just having quite a laugh. And I feel like because he's such a happy-go-lucky kind of Doctor, he's very happy-go-lucky. Jesus, he is honestly all-time high. And I feel that this will, my favourite kind of doctors turn out to be doctors who meet their kind of bane, the thing that has ruled them throughout the whole regeneration. The third Doctor, he makes a particular point about how he was greedy for knowledge. That's what got him killed. The fifth Doctor, he is so selfless, putting others before him, literally puts Perry before himself when they both die. Perry doesn't die, he regenerates, but still for him it's like dying. That's kind of like my favourite kind of doctors, where that's like their fate is sealed within who they are. I think that's kind of beautiful. That's kind of poetic. 10th Doctor didn't really get that for me. 9th Doctor was more of a story arc completion within his regeneration. But yeah, I like those contrasts. So whether the fact that he is so kind of, I don't know, because the thing is, he can take a situation seriously when he needs to. He can, from what I've gathered. But yeah, he's probably the most positive Doctor that has ever existed. He has quirks that are reflective, of course. The fourth Doctor, we're mostly with the fourth wall breaking. I'd say it's the fourth Doctor that mostly did that. His smile is absolutely lovely, beaming with energy, and Ruby Sunday matches it. I think they match each other very well, which, I don't know, it is kind of like Ruby has taken on this, I'd say, quite just in a stride, really, all this kind of, this mad stuff. And I guess some people could say, oh, I don't think her character's accurate or whatever, but I don't know, her character is just quite different with the way she takes things on, It's like, oh, this is a new thing, but she adjusts the situation very quickly, which I think you see in the first episode anyway, the first story, Ruby Road, where, the baby gets taken away. Her priority isn't, for a moment she pauses to think about the fact this is a ship flying in the sky, but her priority is mainly getting the baby back. So yeah, I think it makes sense for her character. Whatever that means, because I don't like it when people go like, oh, this isn't consistent for their character, because sometimes they are correct, but people change. Characters can change, fictional characters can change, so you know what I mean. Wait, do I mean fictional or non-fiction? I always get those two confused, but yeah, so Space Babies, fun episode. I was at the first bit, my brother popped in to have a little look, and there was the butterfly bit where Ruby steps on the butterfly, and the butterfly then causes something to turn Ruby into a insectoid, humanoid creature, reptilian. I don't even know. And my brother was like, "Oh, that's not the butterfly effect. That's not how it works." He had a little moan there, and he's quite knowledgeable with kind of how do I put it? He's the person who'll go up to you, and when the Northern Lights was here, he said to me, don't whistle, because if you whistle, it'll take your breath away. Because that's apparently a thing about the Northern Lights, that culture in Alaska, maybe, I think, possibly, I might be wrong, something they believe where if you whistle at the Northern Lights, it's disrespectful to the souls that have passed, and you'll die for the disrespect, which is kind of cool, which I think gives you an idea of what he's like, what kind of stuff he thinks about. So yeah, it was to me, I didn't think much of it. I just thought, very literal interpretation of the butterfly effect. Yeah, that kind of goes back to how it was all jumpy and all over the place, because they literally just pop over to see the dinosaurs for a second. No, about a minute, but a second, and then they're gone again, And I feel like Russell really just, right now, he just wants to be like, yo, they're going to go wherever the hell they want, there's no bounds. And of course it's very obvious with his whole direction that he's going in. The toy maker and David Tennant, I said the 10th Doctor, nearly 14th, breaking the kind of rules of the world. I mean, they've disrupted history so many times now. Mavity, and the fact that the walls of reality seem to kind of be collapsing ever since the Flux and all that sort of stuff. So of course making his nods back to Chibnall, and it very much seems like reality won't be the same again. Things are a lot more fantastical right now, which takes us on to our second story, The Devil's Chord. Very interesting, It brought a lot of questions to my mind about music theory and just music in general. The way I view music, I'd say this one is more closer to my heart in a lot of ways with what the topic, I suppose, was about. They go to visit the Beatles. The Beatles are kind of singing this song that's very, interesting. If you've heard it, you've heard it. And it's, you obviously, you can tell, something's not right. And then they go to another artist who is singing very, they're out of tone with the previous notes they're doing. They're not matching themselves well. They're not hitting notes well, and it's there's this creature. What was it? What were they called? I forget. Music maestro. Everybody was too scared to play music in a way that pleased them. Because if it came from the heart, then if it was sincere, then they would come over and take the music right out of their mouths. Interesting how I was talking about how if you whistle at the aurora, you get your breath took out of you. And, in that one, if you sing something from the heart, from the soul, it's gobbled up. And I got to say, I think Music Maestro had a very cool character. They were bellowing, pompous, very just full. Their chest was like, you felt their chest always had a million breaths inside of it. They could hold a note for as long as they wished. And then they said something about the toy maker being their father, I think. Might be wrong. Like, I've only watched it once, and I want to make this recording of only of watched it once. Did that make sense? Don't know, but so interesting. They come from the reality, at least that's for certain, the same reality, or whatever place they come from. I think it's reality. I don't know which one I prefer, the Music Maestro or the Toy Maker. I think they're quite on par, But then going back to music, the idea of it, and I mean, I guess in human idea of music, the episode works, but that's the thing, because it's when you start touching on these ideas, like kind of the ones touched upon in The Devil's Chord, the idea that there are certain notes that resonate in such a way, and of course it wasn't just like, anybody could do it. The man at the beginning, I forget his name, was accompanied by a child who was a harbinger, so that was clearly some kind of key, some way for Music Maestro to connect to our reality and then to break through. So, clearly it wasn't just as simple as play these notes. There was something else that was necessary, and that kid is still there in the world. You see the end and the ending. I'll get to that bit later, because that bit's cool. That bit's fun. It's a very fun series so far. That's definitely what the goal seems to be. It's just, let's just have fun with it. It's not like serious Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant. It's just, let's have fun with it. Which I think, gonna get some getting used to. You know, I'm personally not used to it yet, but I'm trying to take it as it comes, you know. But yeah, I mean, because music, you know, the episode is very much held in human idea of music, and I think music goes beyond that. To me, at least, that's how I saw it. You know, I might be wrong. You know, I'm not claiming I know, but to me, it seemed like they were addressing it as though this is how music is. This is how music works. But then again, I suppose that being could believe music works like that as well. So I suppose, you know, it's just, I don't know. Yeah. Because for me, dissonance was kind of, to me, I felt like dissonance was treated as a bad thing in the story. And obviously, if you're trying to be a pop group and you're making dissonant sounds, unless it's done in a very subtle way, typically pop artists, I think, avoid dissonance. They want things to be melodic and in tune and perfect, studio perfect. But yeah, dissonance to me, dissonance isn't a bad thing. You get artists like Sonic Youth, Radiohead, you know, vocalists who explore vocal dissonance with beautifully melodic sounds and stuff, and the song is still crafted in a way that makes it just as good as something that's, you know, pitch perfect. In fact, in many ways, for me personally, better. So yeah, I don't know if that's just me. I felt like dissonance was kind of being treated like, dissonance, we don't like that. That's bad dissonance. So that's kind of one of the things I thought about. So yeah, I guess, I wish maybe they cleared up a bit more. Because Ruby did have that moment where they were playing that song, and it was lovely. It was a really lovely song, don't get me wrong. It was very much like, the beautiful music has been played again and everybody's happy, and I understand why it was done, because it came from her heart. It's just, I guess, the way it could come across, I suppose, is very much like, it's got to be beautiful, it's got to be perfect, pitch perfect, beautiful, 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 rhythm, all that sort of stuff, even though music has proven throughout since that decade, you know, so many genres where rhythm is thrown off kilter. It's like, it's still in rhythm, but in such a way that, you know, it's jaunting, but it's music still, you know. So am I making sense? Maybe, you know, it just feels like a load of genres are kind of being pushed aside and pop is being idolized in a way. Maybe that's just me, but yeah. And obviously, I think what the point is, I already touched upon it and repeating myself a little bit, but the point of the episode is that, you know, with music comes from the heart and the soul. Music Maestro will come and take it. That's what attracts them. And then there was that interesting bit where the Doctor did something with light and made sound null, and sound waves were like disrupted. You know, they were still there because obviously they can make the water resonate, but I was a bit like, I mean, it was kind of cool. It was a cool little moment, you know, and you could recognise through the facial expressions, the Music Maestro recognised what the Doctor's doing. It was like, oh, you cheeky bugger. Well, don't worry, mate. I know how to get around this. But it was cool. It was a cool little thing, though I don't exactly understand what happened to make it like that. Whether it was the high-pitched sound, you know, I mean, if this is what I think it is, then that's damaging the ears. If it's that high-pitched that it disrupts any other sound coming through, I don't know. Maybe that's what was happening. It's certainly a lot harder to follow these series, these new episodes. For me, at least. Maybe I'm fucking stupid. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I guess in the most simplistic forms, the episodes have quite a understandable resolution. There was a hidden chord that unleashed the Music Maestro, and that chord had to be rediscovered. And course, I think it was Paul and John. They rediscovered it when those notes were floating. I do love some of the CGI is used in very cool ways. It's not to create a monster or something, because most the monsters, apart from the bogeyman, I don't know how they made the bogeyman. I wonder, because I don't think that's entirely CGI personally. From looking at it, I feel like some of it was CGI, obviously, but I really like the fact that they are implementing, practical effects a lot. That's really good. That's really good, because that's something they didn't do. I'd say until probably Jodie Whittaker's era, they started implementing practical effects a lot more. So keep that up, because that is the perfect combo: practical and digital. And digital only to be like the trimmings on top. Practical takes the main stage. It's the best thing, because it's literally real. What was I saying? So far, the villains have been, not CGI based. They've been, actual actors. I don't know what I am trying to get to there, but I guess that's something I think is kind of cool. What else to say? Still getting used to Shooty Gat was Doctor. I mean, a lot of people are drawing conclusions already. I feel like they are, at least. That's what they're giving off from YouTube thumbnails I see. I don't watch the videos. I don't want to, because personally, I just don't want to click on a video and then be like, oh, you're just being kind of like negative. A lot of these people, I just think, hey, just don't watch the show. If you don't like it right now, just don't watch the show. As simple as that. If it's getting too pronoun focus and you think that's a bad thing, and go away, I suppose. If you think that the characters are bad, don't watch it. It seems like they just want to exist to just pour negative energy into it. So I'd say don't give them attention. If you're one of the people who want to watch it just to see where it goes, because typically with a Doctor, it doesn't take the first few episodes to grasp them. Peter Capaldi, I remember watching Deep Breath and thinking, no, this is not good. I don't like this at all. The Doctor, man, is always a character that takes at least a season, if not more, to get into them and to truly understand them. Jodie Whittaker's, don't get me wrong, they took a little bit, but Jodie got to her final season, and for me, they clicked with me, and I was like, yeah, this is dope. This is dope. This is a good season. The Flux was a really good season. I really liked it, though. I don't remember some of it quite well. I only watched it once, but I know I liked it. I know how I felt when I watched it. With Peter Davison, I really like Peter Davison's Doctor. I think most people agree, Chaos of Androzani was when he came into his element the most, and then unfortunately he left. Sad. Peter Davison, you're one of those Doctors I wish had another season. But yeah. Good thing he's still here, still kicking. And Tom Baker too, brilliant. It's brilliant he's still here. But yeah, I think that rounds it off. Personally, I just want to say, if you're not liking it, don't watch it. Just don't watch it. Don't waste your time. There's other things you can be doing. If you really don't like it, do other things. Life isn't Doctor Who, but I like Doctor Who, so I'm gonna be here and I'm gonna say I liked the stories. I thought they were cool. I preferred Music Maestro, The Devil's Chord, to Space Babies. I feel like Space Babies was too fast paced. I just felt like it was just like constant shoot, this, that, and they weren't bouncing. I felt like they were fucking splintering off of each other. Mad. But Devil's Chord, a lot nicer. I think it Beatles, would have loved to seen a bit more Beatles, but they served their purpose, that's what they did. They served their purpose, you could see the fear once they were trying to enter those ideas of making beautiful music that was true to them, and they were like, no, what are you doing? they say, no, go away. And the devil was like, I don't know if they were the devil. I'm just Music Maestro. Let's stick to that for now. Don't think they were the devil. But yeah, they were like, And the way they came out the piano was cool. Don't get me wrong. They, playing about that shit. I think we could see a lot more of Music Maestro and what they could do. Don't get me wrong. There was a lot seen of what they could do, but I feel like, music is a lot more than what the episode gave. You know what I mean? So the potential, I believe, is a lot greater in that episode, and maybe not fully fulfilled. Maybe it'll be fulfilled later, because if they have connections with the toy maker and whoever this big bad person is, honestly, I am finding that a bit annoying. The big baddie that they're all hyping up. I mean, I find that a bit on the nose, but hey, it's what it is. It's what it is. Yeah, for the most part, it's Doctor Who. It's Doctor Who, innit? So, hey, keep enjoying it if you are. I am. So, join me with that. Peace out.